Ooh, few. I think few is one word to describe that game. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, where it is time for the Scotland versus Austria match reaction. And I've got two very good guests alongside me. First of all, we have Bitz and Bobz. How you doing, Bitz and Bobz?
Good evening, man. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I feel in a certain type of way after that performance, but happy to be back on this channel, man. Really, really good to share a platform with you two. Looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. And we've also got Reece as well. How are you doing, Reece?
I'm all right, man. Just watched. I've just done a double stream there. Obviously, you know me. I've got an affiliation for another nation, but that's family. Obviously, you've got to at least watch all the nations. The Scotland game, yeah. We're going to get into it, but I think there's some things that we're all definitely going to be commenting on. But other than that, I'm good. My day off today, so it's actually nice and chilled.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I mean, let's get hello to everybody in the chat. We will get to your we'll get to your comments very, very shortly. But starting things off with the starting 11, I have to say a few surprises. I don't think anyone expected Grant Hanley to be in there, but that choice obviously paid off with a very, very good header. Don't think anyone expected Jack Hendry to play. Either, and then I think everyone was expecting Che Adams to maybe come on and start in this game. What did you make of the lineup, Bitz and Bobz?
I just don't understand. I said to you off air, right? I don't understand. He's the best player there, okay? Best striker there, okay? We see what he does in the Premier League, okay? So let's forget this whole authority. You know, you've been called up, sit on the bench. No. Just play him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're not that good to be doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? We're not. And yeah, I was pretty gutted that he didn't start, to be honest, because I felt, you know, he probably plays against better defenders. Okay, you could say Alaba, but he probably plays against better defenses in the Premier League. You know, high tempo game and he scores goals. So I was disappointed in that. Happy for him again, obviously. Always happy to see him again. Hanley, I did not see that coming. But yeah, all in all, I just think it's not like we've got an amazing pool to choose from. So, you know, I always say to myself, instead of trying to guess the team sheet, I say to myself, let's just be surprised. You know, let's just enjoy the surprise.
Yeah. It was a very, very strange lineup, but I have to say I think we all kind of expected Dykes to start. Reece, what was your reaction to the lineup?
I think I got some of that nailed on, to be honest. From the prediction last night, I got some of that nailed on, but there were some surprises in there. I did not expect Grant Hanley to start. I thought Gallagher would have started personally, but other than that, it was relatively simple. Obviously, the loss of Ryan Jack, we lost our midfield destroyer, so we've had to rely on John McGinn playing with Scott McTominay in midfield.
Yeah.
To be fair, they actually played very well tonight. I actually would not be opposed to having them two as a midfield partnership for Scotland in the near future. It was just defensive was a bit worrying. Tierney was a little bit soft tonight. I think just because he's playing left centre back, I don't think he feels comfortable. Yeah. But to be fair, he's not going to get the left wing back position. That's Andy Robertson's nailed down. Unless Robertson's rested or he gets injured, I don't see Tierney starting on the left. So it's either left centre back or the bench, and we don't exactly have any good left-sided players to sit in that defensive role. I thought Che Adams would have started. I agree with B&B. He's absolutely spot on. Like he's the best striker we've had since probably Chris Boyd. And last time Chris Boyd played for Scotland 11, 12 years ago. We're crying out for a striker, and we get one of the most hard-working strikers in English football in Che Adams, and he doesn't even get a start. But there was a few players I was disappointed with tonight. The obvious one I think we're all probably going to agree on is probably Armstrong. Yeah. Very disappointed with Armstrong tonight. That's why I didn't pick him to start, because I think Ryan Christie's far better. He didn't have a great game either, but at least he put in more of a shift. Armstrong was very edgy, and the midfield got better as we brought on the likes of McGregor and Che Adams when he went up top. We got better, but other than that, at least we didn't lose. Like, we actually put in a very hard-working performance. I feel like we should have won that game in all respect.
Yeah, but I do love the never say die attitude of this Scotland team. It's just been something since that Serbia game, and I think probably all of the last qualifying campaign. It's just never say die attitude, and I think it's really really good. But yeah, I think obviously the first half, it wasn't the best first half, but you were messaging me, Reece, that you actually said that we should have been 2 or 3 up.
I did. Like, we should have been. Like we had Austria had some good chances. I'm not taking that away from the Austrians, but compared to what we had a far better first half in terms of chances. I think we should have had at least 2 or 3. What pissed me off the most is we should have had a free kick right in the middle of the first half. Like, McGinn is clearly being pulled down by his shirt. He's being dragged about by the Austrian player, and the referee's like, "Nah, play on." I may have used some foul language in a tweet, but that's okay. I may have called the referee a cunt. I don't know. And then after that, like, we should have had a stonewall penalty in this game as well. Like, I'm actually disappointed.
I mean, it's blatant as anything. It is, it's not given. But I think probably the highlight of the half was probably Alaba getting absolutely rinsed off Stephen O'Donnell, Bitz and Bobz.
Yeah, look, do you know, it's funny in these games, isn't it? You can get the most unlikely square ups, and I think I was like everyone. I think I just started laughing. I was just like, did that really happen? Do you know what though? I mean, you could say in fairness to Alaba, was he really expecting it? Did he think, oh, you're not going to do anything? But at the same time, fair play. Sorry guys, I'm just seeing the highlights now. Like, the defending is absolutely shocking, by the way.
Yeah, I've got it on mute, but I'm just watching them now, and.
But no, sorry. Like, it was a funny moment, and he'll probably take that. I can imagine him texting the boys and stuff to say, "Did you see that?" I can see a compilation of him saying, "Oh, I've done this to Alba and stuff." Champions League runner. But at the end of the day, man, like, I still can't believe we gave them 2 goals, guys. Do you know what, Reece? The more you say that we should have won before we came on, I'm actually thinking you might have a shout, mate, because they're not good, are they? Like, I know we're not great, but they're not good, are they? Sorry, Douglas. Sorry. It's just I'm just looking at it now. Like, we should have a penalty. We probably score that penalty. Armstrong was shocking today. So bad.
He was so bad. I think if I had to say it, I think Armstrong was the worst midfielder on the pitch. Hanley was the worst defender, even though he scored.
Yeah. But
I'm watching it now, and I'm watching it now. Like, obviously, I'm watching it for Now TV, so it might just be a little bit behind you, Bitz and Bobz. But it's just showed me the highlight, the goal that was disallowed. Yeah, that was spot on. But where was the rest of it?
Well, see, I thought the referee, right? I actually thought at first, I was like, what's wrong with that? Then I obviously saw the push, right? But I was thinking, like, we're still allowing them to get the crosses in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like they're all just standing looking at each other. It's ridiculous. And how Hanley can have such a massive head, right, and still be beaten in the air. Fair enough, he scored the goal and stuff, but
his head is as big as Maguire's. He should be doing better.
Exactly, right?
His head is huge.
Yeah, it is. But I think the thing is, we have to touch on the first goal for them, because should Marshall do better, Bitz and Bobz?
Yeah.
He should push it away. He should push it away out for a corner.
Push it to the side. So I don't know what he's playing at personally. You never ever push it out back, do you? Because that's what the striker's wanting, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So no, it's poor goalkeeping for me personally. Definitely.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Armstrong was dreadful tonight. Yeah. Jamie's asking, how did McTominay play? I thought he was pretty good tonight.
Do you think so?
I actually thought he was. Obviously, we've got to measure a bit more because we're Man United fans. Like, we should be measuring this a little bit. We should be measuring this highly. I wouldn't say he was the best player on the pitch. I think the best player on the pitch was definitely John McGinn.
Yeah.
I think John McGinn was by far the best player on the pitch. He was the best player on the pitch. But for me, McTominay, I would say second or third. Like in terms of like overall, I thought he had a very solid game. Didn't put a foot wrong. I think the only thing he shouldn't have done was hit that free kick.
What was he
I
thinking?
would have like that range. Like that range is John McGinn territory. Just let John McGinn hit it. He'll probably score from that range anyway. So I don't know what McTominay was doing hitting it, but fair play him. At least he went for it. I'll give him credit, but he should never have taken it, in my opinion.
No, definitely. But I have to say, I mean, you know, we went 1-0 behind, and then very, very quickly we managed to get back in the game. And you know what? It's a very good free kick from Stephen O'Donnell and a cracking header from Grant Hanley. You could probably question the defending from Austria, but you know he has to still finish it, and it's a great header from Grant Hanley. But yeah, I think everyone was kind of surprised that he, you know, started, and he had a bit of a mixed game. Let's be honest, he got a very, very soft yellow card early on. And then, you know, he did look out of place in that defence. But to be fair, he got his goal as well. I can't even think if he's scored for his country. Has he scored for his country before?
I think that's only his second ever international goal. I think for Scotland, I think that's only his second. So he's not really known for scoring goals, but then again he's not really known for confident performances. But tonight I'll give him credit where credit's due. I did say he was the worst defender on the pitch, but it's not exactly worst by a grand scale. The yellow card, you were right, Doug. It was very soft. I think the only thing I can say is he didn't lose his head. I think in the last game he played, was it the Israel game where he played the Serbia game, he played the right centre-back and he got booked and then his head went. Obviously McTominay, unfortunately, was the reason that Israel got their equaliser, like the pass out which led to Israel getting their goal, which forced extra time. But that was a different game. But in that same game, Hanley didn't look at all relaxed at centre-back. Every challenge he went in, he was mistimed. He's lucky he didn't get sent off. In this game, it wasn't as bad as that. It's just out of the three centre backs. Yeah, they two done more. That's why I would say he was the worst. He didn't do enough other than get a goal.
That's the Bobz. Rich is asking how good were Austria. What do you think?
I think right. I think for Austria, guys. I think that 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
I think Austria played to their strengths. They were very direct. I don't think they were amazing. They just played to their strengths. You saw they tried to get wide or they tried to go through the middle. They were very, very direct. They weren't really trying to do the whole tiki-taka possession kind of game. They were playing to their strengths. And that kind of makes me a bit worried that if the Austrians can do that, why can't we? Like, look, what I'm trying to say is, all right, we're not going to pass the ball from flipping Marshall to the do you know what I mean? We're not going to do that. So why not just play what we're good at? Go direct and then get some change off it. And I think Austria were good. Look, they scored 2 goals. Do you know what I mean? Like they scored 2 goals. They might argue that they should have had the third, but you know, they didn't have that many chances, but the chances they did do, they were quite clinical. Another day, I don't think a referee blows the whistle for that goal that gets disallowed.
No.
I agree. Any other game that would have been given.
That would have been given. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But listen, gentlemen, I'm gonna head. Okay. Doug, Reece, love to you all. Let's plan because there's more time in the international break. Let's plan. I would love to do more work with you as well, 100%. Guys,
been a pleasure.
Make sure you subscribe to Douglas. Okay. Listen, give me a text, okay?
It's been a pleasure catching up with Bobby. Hopefully catch up with you soon, bud.
Yeah, mate, just drop me a message and after my show, I'll watch this back like I always do anyway. So
I will do.
Thank you for tuning in. Take care.
We never got beat.
Absolutely.
The Scotland method. We didn't get beat. I love Bobby. He's a good man. He's a good man.
He is indeed. I mean, obviously, my screen has decided to freeze. Wait a minute. Just Give me 1 minute.
You're still actually physically live anyway, so it's okay.
Aye. Oh, that's it. Seems to be back now. Seems to be back now.
You're good now.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I thought Austria played very, very well to begin with. I thought they were a better team. We struggled to get a foothold in the game. And Nathan, I think Nathan's actually in the green room. Actually, give me a wee minute.
Aye, bring him in.
Yes,
he was joining us. He was joining us at 10 anyway, so bring him on.
He was joining us at 10. Welcome, the newest member of the 1K Club, Nathan.
I'm expecting this.
Appreciate it, Doug.
TikTok.
Finally made it. TikTok has already been made, mate. It's terrible. But either way, thanks for having me on as usual. And yeah, up and down, I'd say personally for Scotland, really. I'd say a good to grind a draw against Austria. Just nice to see how Steve Clark takes this forward now. I'd love to see you back in the World Cup. It's the same with us qualifying for our first one since 1958. But a bit concerned about the lineup, really. I wouldn't have, what's his name again? Grant Hanley. I wouldn't have played him at centre back personally. No. But I
would have played have played Conor Gallagher. Well,
yeah, I would
have played him hands down.
Yeah, John Fleck maybe I would have played as well. Looking at his lineup too, and Che Adams, I don't know why he didn't start either. But Lyndon Dykes, good striker as well. But either way, you've got some decent players coming through in that squad, personally, from a Welsh perspective. So
we're just a hard-working team. Like I've said it on a few shows this week when people have tried to say, "Oh, Scotland are going to get beat easily of certain teams." Name one team right now in world football that could beat Scotland very easily, and I mean that, and I mean that in respect to, and I mean that, and that's no disrespect to the likes of the French, the Germans, the Italians, the Spanish, the fucking English. Like it's no disrespect to them. I mean that on a serious level. Name one country that could beat Scotland so easily. That's the first time in 12 internationals we've conceded more than one goal.
Yeah,
that's very
12
good.
games. That's 12 games. Like, and people are like, "Oh, Scotland are easy to beat." Where's the evidence?
Yeah. So, Freddie Gillis, thank you very much for tuning in. Some bad refereeing in Austria's favour. Scotland denied Stonewall penalty and several free kicks. Yes,
Let's get to that, Doug.
I mean, the penalty. I mean, it's a Stonewall penalty for me. I don't care what you say. It's a Stonewall penalty.
Like I've got a group chat. Like Richard's in the chat, and Jamie's in the chat, right? And my exact words to them were, "This referee is lucky that there's no fans tonight." And then Jamie went, "Who? Why?" And I went, "Scotland fans." Like, because like they would be fuming at this guy. Like,
yeah,
John McGinn, the halfway line, pulled down. Like completely dragged down to the pitch. Should have been a free kick. Referee plays on. Should have been a Stonewall penalty. We should have had about 2 or 3 free kicks into the first 15 minutes of the second half. You were spot on. Like Lyndon Dykes as well. Yeah.
Lyndon Dykes gets booked for absolutely nothing. But from what people were saying on Twitter, he was booked for basically, what was it? Not going back enough for a free kick.
That's ridiculous.
Like how are you supposed to make like a strike? You shouldn't have to measure where a striker goes as long as they're not offside or they're in an offside position. Frankly, hit the free kick. I've never seen that happen in any other international game, and I've watched international football for God knows how long. Yes, I agree.
Yes,
he has got to start against Israel.
100%. The referee should be on crime watch.
The referee should just be in prison. Full stop.
Yeah, to be fair, Austria did take their second goal very well, didn't they, Reece?
No, I'll give them credit where credit's due. It was a very good finish by Austria. Our defence, they just went to sleep. But obviously, like some of these defenders, they just don't play in that system suited like beside each other. I know it's our preferred system, but we really need to get the better players for the job. What's happening, dude? We need to get the better players for the job. And like I said, like I thought Hanley was the worst defender on the pitch, and it's not because he was crap. It's just because the other two done slightly more, and that's what equated to it. But the only thing is, even though we went 2-1 down, if you look at the way our defenders were in the wing backs, the heads didn't drop. They actually kept their heads up, and I was like, this is what I want to see. Like, and we responded within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
and what a goal by John McGinn. Super John McGinn. I mean, what a strike. You're not
He is
going
our
to see
best midfielder.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a better goal this evening, probably.
No, that's goal of the qualifiers. unless someone does like an overhead kick from like 45 yards against England.
Yeah.
Like that'll probably be goal of the qualifiers, but just to point that out there because that same human being is playing once again for his country. He is by far our best midfielder. Like we've got a talented group of midfielders. We've actually got in respect, we've actually got a bit of depth, like in that midfield position, like anywhere we can play. So we can play any form of midfield free, and I'd be comfortable. It's who we play on the wing positions that, like the left hand side, I'm comfortable. The right hand side, I'm worried. That's why I've said repeatedly, I really want Tavernier to be. Just say you're Scottish. Just say it because you're eligible.
It's a massive problem. Massive problem on the right hand side. I mean, we've got Stephen O'Donnell, who, let's be honest, is not the best this season as Mullowon. You know, me and you, Reece, can actually know about that because Mullowon are, I think, bottom 6 now this season, which I don't think anyone expected. Liam Palmer, he hasn't played much this season.
He's a 50-50 guy.
He is, but
he is who I would prefer. I mean, I don't understand why. He's the only reason I would prefer him because he's a natural wing back, whereas O'Donnell's a full back. Like there's a clear difference there. What I don't understand is Matt Ritchie. Like why we don't give I know he's like an option. Like he plays wing back for Newcastle at times. So I would have maybe given him a chance. I would have used the distance.
35 yards?
35 yards.
35, 36, yeah.
Yeah.
Or as I call it, McGinn territory now. We're just going to call it the McGinn space. If it's 35 yards out, it's the McGinn space.
To be fair to everybody in the chat, I think Nathan and I think Reece will all agree, John McGinn does not do simple goals. It's always 35 yarders, 30 yarders, 25 yarders. He's just a fantastic player. But yeah, 2-2. At least we didn't lose. And I think I said to both of you, if we take 7 points from these first 3 games, I'll be very, very happy.
That's a good result for Scotland if you can do it. To be fair,
and we've got measurable games coming up as well. We've got the Faroe Islands, and we've got Moldova. Is Moldova and Israel? We've got Israel next. Is it Moldova or is it or do we play Moldova after Denmark? We play Faroe Islands first. Because they're both equally shit anyway, so it doesn't matter which one we play. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. I'll get to that in a second because Doug and Nathan pretty much know my thoughts on McTominay as a centre back. They know my thoughts.
I thought he did okay in the midfield tonight.
I prefer him as a midfielder. I don't like him as a centre back. Like my problem with him as a centre back is, for me it is good. And the reason I say it is because Israel are the one team in our run of games, and I don't mean this in disrespect to the Austrians or Denmark, but they've got some good sides. But are we really going to have to worry as such? Maybe not, because we have a good record against the better teams in our group. It's the lesser teams, and that's and Israel have been a thorn in our side for quite a number of years. So that's my fear. Is we need to hope that they drop points. And who have Israel got next after us? Who do they play? Is it Denmark they play after us, or do they play Moldova?
They got beat 2-0 by Denmark tonight. I think they play Moldova. It was
Denmark they played.
Yeah, I think they're away to Moldova. Actually, let me just double check. Let me just double check the. I
haven't watched Moldova. I haven't watched Moldova since about 2009. So I don't even know how they play nowadays.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time we played Moldova. So
we played them last in 2017, and we destroyed them 4-0. They came to Cardiff City Stadium. We put out a fairly strong team with a few youngsters playing in there. I think Ben Woodburn was in there and a few others. And Moldova looked absolutely disorganised, terrible. And yeah, you should be able to beat them at least 3-0, especially with the depth you had in midfield, as you just said. If you're solid at the back, which you always seem to be as well, then I think you'll have a good shout against Moldova. They don't attack well either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all right then. But
yeah.
Oh, Clark is talking right now. I'll turn my TV up and I'll hear what he says and I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just checking who actually have.
He looks depressed, lads. Watch this. He looks depressed. Guys, I'm going to show you Steve Clark's face if I can flip the camera. If this flips, then I'm a genius. Never mind.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he does.
I think he needs something.
Jack Ward is saying that McTominay plays much better than midfield.
I agree. I agree. I think he does. I think he's on paper and on form. He's by far our second best central midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been quite modest at the minute.
What's this? Jack Ward is saying, Nathan, you should make a keyboard ASMR because your keyboard sounds so satisfying.
Maybe something's coming in the future, mate. Oh dear. But yeah, this is it anyway. But yeah, the thing is, it doesn't sound satisfying to me, but it must be loud for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Some people like weird things.
Israel away to Moldova.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, nice. He's getting asked about Hendry and Hanley right now.
What's this? Thoughts on O'Donnell? The game's coming thick and fast. I worry that Scotland doesn't have another right wing back. Depth is key, considering there'll be 2 more games in the space of less time.
That's why I'm going to. This is why I'm going to reiterate it. Euro 2021. Scotland need James Tavernier.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just got asked some very interesting questions there, and he actually held his own. I'll just quickly run through it. So he got asked about Hendry and Hanley and centre back and why he went for them. He said it was based on the choices we had. It wasn't purely down to a lack of availability, but it was also because the team they were playing against, he felt they were more comfortable on the ball. I don't know what game Steve Clark was watching, but Hanley on and off the ball wasn't particularly good. Whereas Hendry, he was okay. But he did say they were solid and they were good in training. So frankly, I don't disagree with him in that respect. It's just we can do a lot better.
It's the first game in a long time. It's the first game in a long time. Chris Walsh, hello Chris, hope you're doing well. At least Scotland played a real country. Are you happy with the result? Yeah, I'm very happy. I said if we managed to get a draw out of Austria and beat Israel and then beat the Faroes, then I think 7 points from our first 9. I think would be absolutely fantastic. Jack Ward says it sounds like a night.
We both predicted that Scotland would score 2 goals. We both said we would score twice. Like, that's how confident we are in our country now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that says all. In all respect to Kieran, do you really want me to answer that question?
He wasn't great. He
wasn't. Like, I think the one thing that was depressing about Tierney is obviously from a Scotland perspective, my family are all Rangers fans. I had to live and deal with this guy playing at left back. The one key strength about Kieran Tierney playing at left back was he used to run forward, and when he was on the ball, he didn't bloody stop and then pass the ball back. Tonight, he passed the ball back about 5 or 6 times. He would run out 15, 20 yards, stop, pass the ball back, and I was like, what the hell? Keep going forward.
Yeah,
absolutely. He wasn't particularly.
I think that's just because he's too used to what's his name, Mikel Arteta's ball. But he needs to completely change his philosophy when he's going for Scotland. And with international football, we see it too much when they're just constantly going back all the time. It happens with Wales. It's not pretty to watch, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Anthony's asked an interesting question.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, mate, but I think it's quite an interesting one.
Thoughts on any replacement to goalkeeper Marshall? Isn't there any other up and coming goalkeepers from Scotland?
There's only two in my mind, but one of them you might sharpen your eye at. One of them I'm thinking is, I think Scott Bain has got a good chance of being a decent goalkeeper for Scotland, but the one that I think is a bit controversial, I know he's in his 30s, but he may do something decent. No, I don't think he's ever going to come back. I would have him. He's by far Scotland's best goalkeeper. I was going to say, I think he's Scottish. John McLaughlin.
John McLaughlin.
The backup.
The backup could be a good option.
The backup goalkeeper is about 6'5", and he's actually quite good in goals. One of the things he doesn't get enough games for Rangers, but I think the youngest goalkeeper we've got that's actually decent is Scott Bain. Was he 28, 29 like that? He's still in his 20s, and he's still got an option. But the only thing is, Marshall plays regular club football, and even though he's not a particularly great goalkeeper, he's still doing a reliable job for said club. He's still doing a reliable job for said club that is below. I don't have to say their name. I'll let him do it shortly. But at the moment, he's still our best goalkeeper. He could have done a bit better tonight. But frankly, who else are we going to replace him with? Because Craig Gordon's done. I don't even know why he's in the squad.
I don't understand why.
I mean, unless you bring Alan McGregor out of retirement, then you're pretty much lost there. But I'd say Marshall has been a superb servant for you over the last 10 years, going from when he was at Cardiff playing consistent football. Our player of the season in the first Premier League season. I thought he was going to be poached by a top 6 club because he was that excellent, quite frankly. Then he took the stupid decision to go to Hull. I really think he underrated himself being in Scotland. And it's just a shame that you couldn't get World Cup or European football during the peak years of David Marshall.
Marshall, one thing I'll give him credit for is reliability. I mean, he was the understudy to Rab Douglas at Celtic. He was the understudy, and then obviously he set out on his own. He done really. I think he was the Celtic number 1 for a bit, but then obviously Boric came in, and frankly, me and Doug sadly will remember just how good that twat was. I mean, obviously I've got to suffer him as a Rangers fan, but also Man United as well in the Champions League. He had a clean sheet against Man United, that 1-0 win, which is never going to escape my mind.
I remember Rab Douglas. I remember Rab Douglas Livingston. Funnily enough,
he was a psycho. But Marshall, Marshall's reliable. It's just the sad thing is age. Yeah, age is caught up to the man, but he is a national hero.
Yeah. So we move on to the Israel game. Is there any changes you would make to the starting 11 that was tonight? I think there's one obvious one for me. Che Adams has to start the next game. He looked really lively when he came on.
I make 3 changes personally. I'm just gonna run through it. Che Adams 100%. Ryan Christie into attacking midfield. Armstrong on the bench. So there's a clear insight of where I'm going. I'm just gonna go front backwards. So Che Adams has got to come in. Christie's got to go into attacking midfield. I think John Fleck I know McTominay played really well at central midfield tonight, but we don't have we don't have a choice. I'd put John Fleck or Kenny McLean into midfield. Yeah, I would actually like to see him in goals, but he needs 4 years.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think he's in the under-21 squad. I think he did get a call up. I think the last time we played in the national game,
just didn't get played.
Liam Kelly's another one. I know he's on loan at Motherwell from Queens Park Rangers, but he was good at Livingston.
Yeah.
So I would.
He was decent for Rangers Academy squads as well. Liam Kelly was decent there. I would certainly consider it. We will have to look into it. There was mention of a Sunderland goalkeeper. Do we have a keeper at Sunderland that's Scottish?
I'll double check.
I can't remember any Sun. I thought they were both English.
I think Nipun was meaning McLaughlin, but he's at Rangers, obviously.
He's at Rangers now. What I would say is there are some options. We'll get to that in a second because that's funny. I would certainly start Che Adams. He's by far our best striker in years. Ryan Christie is definitely Scotland's best attacking midfielder. Pains me to say that. Armstrong on the bench. I would put John Fleck or Kenny McLean beside John McGinn, and I would honestly, we have no choice, put Scott McTominay back into right centre back because I am not comfortable with Hanley. I'm okay with Hendry. I'm okay with Hendry. I think he's okay. It's Hanley. He isn't particularly great. He scored a good goal tonight. I'm not going to take that away from him. I'm just not comfortable with him as the leading central defender of my country's team. I'm just not comfortable at all. I would rather McTominay play beside Hendry and Tierney, but then again, Tierney wasn't great either. We really need to get some proper centre backs for this country. And then right wing back. I don't know. I would maybe stick in Matt Ritchie because I don't trust Palmer or O'Donnell. But the only reason I had Palmer the other night is because Palmer is slightly better than O'Donnell. But I say that in a nice way, slightly better. So I would make those 3 or 4 changes.
Adams has to start. Armstrong should not be starting. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
That's my boy.
One thing I cared about England tonight is Calvert-Lewin. Yank talking smack, is it? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Why the F did we let Armstrong stay on so long? Need to shake up the lineup a bit and sit Christie next game. Both not good enough this game. But to take away from the game, we didn't lose. We managed to get a 2-2 draw. I think that's a very, very good result. So, move on to other results. And it was looking...
We got a question about Gilmore, actually.
We got a question about Gilmore.
Yeah, what's your thoughts about Billy Gilmore potentially moving into the Scotland squad?
I think I want him to stay at Chelsea. I know that sounds like I know it sounds like I'm inhibiting his career by saying, "Oh, stay at Chelsea," but he came from Rangers. Like, it's not very often that a player from Rangers is going to move to a Premiership club in such a manner, even at his age. So I actually want him to stay. I want him to hopefully fight for his place and get a position at Chelsea. If not, get a loan away. He can come back to Rangers for a year and win a title with us. I'm happy with that. I think Gilmore is the next midfield gem for us.
Yeah,
I think he's a diamond in the making. He just needs the games. So Tuchel
needs experience.
You tit, play him.
Definitely. But I think we can safely say that we move on to Israel, and I'd be confident getting a result out there, even though we've not got a record out there. But moving on to other results, it was looking so good for Wales. Harry Wilson scoring what was a very good, well-worked goal.
It was impressive.
And then all of a sudden, Belgium came back and won 3-1. But you said something very interesting, I think, on Twitter. Very big positives to take from that game last night.
Ooh. Yeah, there was a lot of positives to take. Rob Page, of course, we have technically, you could say, an interim coach at the moment. But we passed it around well. Our defence worked okay. There's definitely the lineup I would definitely not have done at the start. I think Kiefer Moore definitely should have started. I wouldn't have had James Lawrence there. Where on earth is Wal Vox, may I add? He's been superb in the Championship. Pardon?
Good question. I don't know why he's on the squad.
Absolutely. When we're literally bringing in, what's his name? Dylan Levitt, who's playing in the Croatian second division and
sadly
sort of not playing well. Go on, Reece.
He shouldn't be out there. As a Man United fan, I can't believe he's out there. I know it's a hard league and it's physical, but for goodness sake, I want this guy in a Man United squad in the next few years.
I completely
agree. He keeps playing
He's
that way he is. I don't want him out there. I'm just watching some of the highlights right now, so everyone knows I'm a Germany fan, besides being Scotland. So I'm just rewatching some highlights, even though I watched that game as well. I watched it at the same time. But the reason I went like that over my face is obviously they showed the highlights of the Spain-Greece game first. What a challenge on the Greece defender, the Greece striker that led to the penalty. Like, he was down for quite some time there, but Germany tore Iceland. Germany tore Iceland apart. It's quite funny that England lost to this team 5 years ago.
Yeah, going back on Wales, Nathan. Joe Allen going off injured was a bit of a blow, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say it was a bit of a blow. I always knew that he's going to start to wind his career down. I probably wouldn't have started him yesterday. I think I would have put Morel there, who ended up coming on, of course, just because I really do concern about his fitness sometimes. And the state of that pitch in Leuven at the King Power Stadium is an absolute joke. I mean, players were slipping left, right, and centre. If you saw the second goal for Belgium, where Thorgan Hazard actually scored a header, never thought I'd be saying that in my life. But Connor Roberts really slipping on that pitch there, because of how poor the conditions were, and that was how Joe Allen picked up his injury. It looks like he's going to be out for another couple of months now, which, even as a Cardiff fan and him scoring a goal in his debut at Ninian Park for the Jacks, it does pay me to see it as a Welsh legend. But
do you think he should just retire now?
I don't think he should retire. I think he can still be a key asset for Wales. I think it was the wrong game to play him in personally. I would have had him play against, who we're playing next, or against Estonia next week, or maybe bring him on in the Czech Republic game. Yeah. I think we can edge through, especially with the way that we played yesterday, especially going forward. At the back, we need to sort it out, in particular going towards that right-hand side. But I think if we need to beat Estonia, absolutely. And I think we might be able to get something out of Czech Republic if we can get things moving. But there's a lot of changes that need to be made by next week.
I agree. I thought you started really well last night. I'll give you credit where credit's due. I had as a prediction. I said Wales were going to beat Belgium, and it's just because the way you've played against them, you're naturally consistent against them. Yeah. But Belgium had some good teams. Belgium aren't a great team. They're just a great team of individuals.
Exactly.
Like, it's the individuals that turn up. Like, I guarantee if Belgium had played the Germany team that I watched tonight, they would get beat. Like, this Germany team,
they lose 4-1.
I know they were playing Iceland, and I'm like, oh, you're hyping up Germany over Iceland, but that's why everyone was talking about the Germans were dead a couple of years ago because the way they looked, like the way they got eliminated at the World Cup. Yeah, the team they played tonight though, that is classic Germany right there. Like the high press, like dominating games, like putting pressure on, taking chances. Kimmich and Goretzka as a midfield duo were lethal. I think if Belgium played that team, they would get smashed. But it was a great goal It was a great goal yesterday.
I think you're absolutely right, Reece. And I said this to Dan from Football Is, and that is what I want. I actually said to him, I don't see Belgium winning anything with this golden generation. It's going to be the same as England. Me
neither.
04, 05, 06. Like, that was their golden generation. So I actually think Belgium are going to go the same route as England. And I absolutely agree. I think it is a team of individuals.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can have a team of individuals, and all right, I totally understand that. Like, there's individual players that will turn up, get a goal, but that's all right. You've got, you can have a team of individuals, but that doesn't mean anything because, like, you go into a tournament and you don't. I mean, everyone thought Belgium were going to win the last World Cup because they had quite a relative run. I mean, they had the Brazilians, then they had France. People were like, oh, they're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Where's the evidence? Because the only reason they beat Brazil is because Neymar was diving about 20 minutes, which gave Belgium a lot of time to defend. And then against France, they had the chances, they just didn't take them. It was individual players once again letting them down. And then Mbappe tore them to pieces. I think it was Giroud that was holding the defence up. And I think it was Griezmann that scored the winning goal. So, like, it just shows you, like, if you're a team is far better than individuals, it just comes down to how the game is played. I honestly don't think this Belgium team. I think their best chance is probably Euro 2016, maybe the last World Cup, but they're done. Like, this generation of Belgian players, like, they've got nothing going for them. I'm sorry, I don't see anything coming. And to anyone that's a Belgium fan out there, you can clip me, you can come back to me whenever if they win anything, you can prove me wrong. But I'll be long dead before the Belgians win anything.
Absolutely. And go on, Doug.
Kieran John Melso is saying, we pressed Belgium very well at times. I think the lineup was wrong, but it did work well. Neco Williams looked really good. That's a good.
He was amazing.
Rodon
left
was
back,
amazing.
isn't he?
Very good as well.
Yeah, he played at left back last night because we played Connor Roberts right back. We don't have a left back because Ben Davies is out injured, but we had Neco Williams was absolutely phenomenal last night, but Connor Roberts, he was really patchy at times. He was at fault for winning the goal, even though it was a slip due to the state of the pitch. But some of the abuse he got, especially from Cardiff City fans, was absolutely disgraceful, which I don't condone, because he did have some good moments from time to time in that game. Just overall, it was pretty poor. But the one thing I'd like to add about Belgium, which I'll come on to what you were saying about earlier, Reece, was their defence is a massive concern for me. There is no pace there at all. There's no depth. and we literally carved through it so easily last night. Go back to the Harry Wilson goal. There's literally 4 post boxes in defence. We can just weave straight through it. If any team, such as France, you could say Germany as well, Wales, England easily as well. Oh, yeah, Spain.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are in your post-podcast.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Spain will beat them 8-0. Their defence is just statues. They will just carve through them like butter. But lineup and other players, I've got to say as well, Jamie Lawrence, too early for him. He had a really poor game last night, and so did Chris Metham as well. I don't think he could have got a bit more constructive.
You've got
criticism
Ampadu as well, don't you?
Yeah, Ethan Ampadu was a rock. Yeah,
he's a good player. I mean, I think Chelsea let him go too early.
Yeah, they did.
I know he went to Leipzig for a year, and he did play some games. Obviously, I watched the Leipzig games. He got some decent performances, but he's not really going to get a consistent run in that defence. No disrespect to him, but maybe even as a defence midfielder, he could have put in a job. I think he's a little bit too early for Wales, but to be fair, out of your whole defence, who is your best centre-back? Ethan Ampadu. He is probably your best centre-back.
I mean, the thing is with Ampadu as well, we're playing him in midfield. We partnered him with Joe Allen in the middle last night, and then we had Metham, Rodon, and then James Lawrence with the 2 wing-backs who one performed awfully, and then the other absolutely superb. I still say it all the time. We have to play Ampadu as an anchor man in that 5 at the back. None of this midfield nonsense. It should be Morel and
right
Volks
for the middle.
Yeah,
I think you should play the same system Scotland do. I honestly think that's our strengths. Is the way we play. Like, our defence is our strengths. Obviously, like, and the way we can break teams forward. Like, if you get Scotland and Wales against a big team, and if we got pace, you're in trouble. And that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect to any big team. Like, we're not being cocky here. We're just basing it on what we've seen our countries do numerous occasions. But I'll say this as well, and you come back to the. Oh yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah, he played last night. It was a back. It was a back 5 of, I think.
He played right centre back.
The Tongan, the Marlin, and then they had 2 slow wing backs.
Company played as well. I think he's a player manager, and he isn't even the manager for Anderlecht anymore.
I don't think he even. Hang on, let me double check the Belgian team from last night, because I believe Reece.
That is mental. They're still
it says it all.
Yeah.
It says it all. It says it all, really, that like their depth as a centre back, their backup is bomb scare Boyata.
Yeah. I mean, just
like, what happened to Jason Denayer? I mean, I'm not a big fan of him, but why is he not playing? Like,
he's actually came on in the end.
Yeah, like, he should have started. He's only like, he's in his 20s.
Absolutely.
And he's good on the ball. He's a leader for Lyon. He's got good energy. He plays in a back. They play a back 3 system.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why they don't use him.
I mean, Vermaelen shouldn't have started for him. Go on, Doug.
James Dunlop. I have absolutely no idea, but I think he's about 38. Vermaelen.
I think he is. He's about 37, 38 years old. Like, I think their oldest defenders are Vermaelen, Alderweireld, and Vertonghen. Because I don't know if Company. I know Company's old, but the difference is Company's Belgium's only world-class centre back. Alderweireld is fading. Like, and he's a good centre back, but he's fading. Like, Vertonghen now plays as a left back.
That's mental.
I know. Really? Bearing in mind, may I add as well that they played Meunier and Thorgan Hazard as wing backs last night. There was really no defensive depth on the wing backs. It's terrible.
Disrespectful to Meunier and Thorgan Hazard playing them as wing backs.
Absolutely.
35. Like, going than that.
Yeah, same age as Company. I think
crazy
because Thorgan Hazard's quality as a forward player.
So Nathan, moving on to your next game, which is Czech Republic at the Cardiff City Stadium. I know they won 6-2 against Estonia. Thomas Suchek got a hat trick. How are you feeling about that one?
Slightly nervous. We have to get the team selection right for this one. When I hear that Brandon Cooper got called up for the Wales squad to replace Joe Allen, I'm not going to lie. He is a great player, Brandon Cooper, even though he's Steve Cooper's son, but nah. But the thing is, I was absolutely furious because there was no Will Volks again.
Why is he not getting picked up for the Wales squad? He's actually a decent player.
I have no idea. He was being linked with £7 million moves with Premier League clubs earlier. It's just a complete disgrace. We have essentially no depth in midfield now. I'm really worried for this. Oh, dear.
He's not. The funny thing is, he's not wrong.
He's absolutely right.
Exactly.
He's absolutely. But yeah, I think it was a positive to be taken from the fact that you did actually give Belgium a very hard game. I said 1-1. I said 1-1 in the prediction. I think Reece went for a Wales win.
3-1.
Well.
I put Wales 3, Belgium 1, and I got
Repeat
called
of
Deludi for it.
2016.
I got called Deludi for it, but I was like, it's football predictions. Like I said France were going to drop points to Ukraine, and people were like, you're fucking wrong. I want my apology. I want my apology.
Well,
like, I'm pretty sure they did.
I know Chris Welsh is in the chat, and we better just go on it. England 5, San Marino 0.
Do we have to?
Did anyone expect like a bigger score? Like for me, I expected a bigger scoreline. I said 7-0.
I think I can't remember my exact scoreline. Well, I do. I'm just not saying out loud because I don't want to give the English fans I don't want to give the English fans a smile. Because I said a very high England score, and Doug knows that. I think I said 9-0 England. Like that's. But I've watched San Marino games for a long time, and it's just because it's just funny. Like I watched the San Marino game 2006. They played Germany, and they got beat 13-0.
Yeah,
and that's San Marino, but this is like
absolutely
They got beat tonight. Like England actually had a good game, but that's as far as I'm gonna go.
All I can say is, with my England reaction, I'm playing it right now. The controversy alarm is straight out there.
I love that.
Right, England.
Let me compose myself.
Had a poor game tonight. I'm sorry, but with the players that they had out, they should be winning minimum 8 or 9-0. How on earth, with that? Honestly, with that San Marino squad, you're looking at I don't know #United levels of players. You should be winning 8-0 as a minimum. You have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Harry Kane, all these players, just 50 million pound plus on the pitch, and you can't even beat players who cost £2. Not even that. I mean, we could have had Doug and Reece and myself in defence, and they still would have won only about 5 or 6-0. They should be doing much better than that. And honestly, looking at that performance tonight from England really does worry me of how they're going to perform in the World Cup.
My boy, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris Welsh just said, I couldn't care less. I'm not smiling. Move on to Albania. That is my reaction. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what?
I was on Rich Sports Channel last night. Obviously, Doug joined us late last night, and we were talking about the England game. Obviously, I went on to talk about the Scotland stuff because that's the main event. Obviously, oh yeah, he said £2, and he's not wrong. I would say 50p because I'm nice. But I spoke to. I was speaking to Richard and Jamie about, and Jamie's English. So he was like surprisingly not biased for a change when I was talking about the England game. And I said to them, England's biggest problem. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Big up Reece on that one.
Yeah. And this is I am honestly, I think I'm speaking 100% facts here. See, England's biggest problem. They are smug as fuck. Yeah. They are the smuggiest football fans when it comes to internationals. Like, frankly, they could beat, say, Azerbaijan 12-1. We're going to win the fucking World Cup. Really, what happens when you get to the main tournament? You get beat on penalties.
Yeah, honestly,
it's coming home. You're going home. There you go. Like they are so smug. See if England fans, the England team, see if they weren't as smug. I bet they'd be more appreciated worldwide.
Absolutely.
I think they would be more appreciated, but worldwide.
Yeah, because I will say one thing in addition to that as well, Reece. I remember I was on a cruise back in 2018 during the World Cup. That time when they beat Tunisia, there was literally limbs and everything as if they'd won the thing when I was on the top deck. Pretty embarrassing because I was wearing a Cardiff shirt at the time. I never regret that. But when they got knocked out by Croatia, you had everyone on the deck. When that goal went in, when they lost from, I think, who was it again? When Stones made that mistake, their faces just dropped. I was standing by a Scottish family at the time. They were absolutely loving it, and it was almost as if the English fans were going to cry. And then in the end, we were just having a party on the deck when they went down to their cabins. So I was happy about that. But it's just a general thing with England fans. I think they expect too much personally, and they just need to get a bit real and then lower their expectations a bit and realise, right, we need to be composed here.
Moving on to Ireland, because the Near Post podcast are talking thoughts on the Ireland result, fellas. Thought it wasn't a bad performance, just a slight gap in quality. To be honest, I didn't actually expect Ireland to score. So the fact that they've gone out there and scored 2 is a miracle. Reece, thoughts on the Republic of Ireland last night?
I have to agree, and it's no disrespect to Ireland. It's just a matter of fact, like, we've seen Serbia firsthand, like what they can do. Like, this Norway team that's coming up is going to be a formidable team in Europe. They're not going to win anything, but they're going to be formidable. And Serbia ran them ragged. So, yes, you did. And Frank, my neighbours are English. So you can probably guess what happened to them the following morning. I gave them 24 hours. Like, that's just what I'm like. Is like, I'm no holds barred, but I'm fair when I have to be. But I'll say this in the right way. We've seen Serbia firsthand. We know what they're capable of. The fact that Ireland scored twice, fair play to them. Fair play to them. I didn't see them scoring. Not even maybe one. I didn't see it happen. I thought they were going to get torn apart. But no, not really. It's just a gap in quality. I agree there. It's a gap in quality. Another thing is, I don't think you've got a good manager.
Terrible.
I don't think he's good. Well, head coach, because obviously it's different at national level. I don't like, in respect to, I know a fair few Irish people, and obviously I know a fair few Northern Irish as well. So we're going to get the Northern Ireland game very soon. So I've got Italian and German families. I can't wait to discuss Germany versus the supermarket. The Ireland coach, I don't think he's good. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough. They really need something. I feel sorry for Republic of Ireland. I generally do. They need something. It's going to take them a few years even to. I don't think they're going to get to a tournament for a while. I mean, they've missed out in the Euros. I actually thought they were going to make it. No, I thought they would, because they've been so consistent, but they've been downhill for a couple of years, and I honestly can't pinpoint why. Like, I hope to see them. Maybe not the World Cup next year. I don't think they're going to get there, but I'd like to see them at the following Euros.
Absolutely. I will say this one thing. Go on, Reece. I mean, Doug, you can go on.
None taken, lads. The sad reality is England's third, fourth best squads are miles more quality than us boys. You know, you go through the days that you had. I didn't mean to press that again. You go through the days where you had Robbie Keane, you had Kevin Doyle. You know, you've Seamus Coleman, Shea Given.
Keogh was Republic of Ireland, wasn't he? Or was he Northern? The Wolves striker. The Wolves striker from 2009. Was he? Wasn't he? Was he Republic of Ireland or was he Northern?
I think he was Northern.
I know he was Irish. I just couldn't remember which one.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think they've got Latipi's Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Patrick Schick from Czech Republic last night really impressed me.
Watch out.
He was excellent.
Souček as well. Souček.
Yeah.
Watch out for Patrick Schick. Watch out for Patrick Schick. His goal record was quality at Leipzig. He was averaging a goal every 2 games.
He's working with poor level players. I don't think there's much more you can get out of him. Give us Grealish and Rice back.
Yeah, I can back that comment. I mean, we have played Republic of Ireland a lot in the last few years, in particular after 2016 Euros. Stephen Kenny, I mean, any manager that goes 8 hours without scoring a goal at international level is just absolutely terrible. I mean, ever since they've had that 2016 World Cup, you compare that squad to now, it's been completely diluted. It's filled with championship level players and Jeff Hendrick. They haven't got any good players really coming through, minus you could say Troy Parrott as well. Darren Randolph's getting older. I don't think they've got a decent keeper coming through either, which
I don't know any. This is true. This is true. Like, Bakuna done everything. Bakuna Matata literally dealt with Hurahan, and he clobbered him. Like, But no, you're right. I generally don't know any Republic of Ireland goalkeepers coming through that's actually going to do anything, and that's a worry.
I can see Republic of Ireland maybe winning against Luxembourg. I can see them maybe winning against Luxembourg.
They should do.
If they don't beat Luxembourg, and I don't mean any disrespect to the Republic of Ireland fans in this chat, no disrespect. If you fail to beat Luxembourg, you should fold as a football nation. Fold. just stop. No disrespect.
I will jump in here as well, but I think what really went wrong from Ireland as well, and when it started to go was when Mick McCarthy resigned. And that's saying that as a Cardiff fan. At least he did, because now he's at the mighty Bluebirds, and I got a feeling he's going to take us to the Premier League. Touch wood. But yeah, Stephen Cat. I think it was a panic appointment personally. There wasn't really any other coach they could have gone for apart from that.
I'm surprised, because they had Martin O'Neill previously. They had Martin O'Neill with Roy Keane. I know that wasn't a particularly good duo, but they actually were at least working. Frankly, I'm surprised none of them were called back. Bakuna Matata. I think that was a genius moment. Bakuna Matata.
Yeah, it's been going around Cardiff for years. So
I think I've got a decent. I think I can come up with a song. Bakuna Matata, he cripples players for fun. Bakuna Matata, get the 1, 2, 3.
I know that our Northern Irish representative is not with us, but Italy 2, Northern Ireland 0. I think everyone expected Italy to win. But are you surprised it's 2-0, not 1-0?
It should have been at least 1 or 2-0. Yeah, I mean, I know I've got like straight up. I mean, I don't have any English heritage in my family. It's just Scottish, Italian, and German. But I'm surprised there's no English in my family. I think that's quite strange. I've got relatives that live down there. The Italians tonight, they weren't actually particularly great. Immobile, he scored, but I didn't see anything relatively good from him. I watched the highlights. He was piss poor. Berardi, good goal. Why is he playing for the Italians? I'm sorry, but he's not that good either. Like, there's some serious issues with the Italians. The only good thing going for them is they've got a fantastic goalkeeper. They've got one of the best midfielders in the world. They've got a striker that really needs to up his game, but he's still great in Serie A. And Mancini's actually suited to international football. He's actually done really well. It's just this team is aging. They really need to start looking at things with more perspective. But Northern Ireland, they had some good chances. They just didn't take them.
Yeah, guys, we are 1 hour 2 minutes. I can't believe how quickly this has gone. But if you are enjoying the stream, then please hit the like button. We'll be with you for another 10 minutes. We'll just basically go through another few results. One surprising result I thought though. Spain won, Greece won.
Yeah, I just watched the highlights before Steve Clarke opened his mouth. Good goal there by Alvaro Morata. Stylish finish there. Have to give him credit. He's doing really well. Probably Spain's best striker. He's doing good there. Mind you, that Spain, they've another good striker since David Villa. Like, probably the best Spanish striker I've seen since Raul. But
Fernando Torres.
Yeah, he was good at national level. I'll give him that. I mean, he broke my heart in Euro 2008 and the World Cup 2012. But yeah, we're not going to mention his name again. Good goal by them. Spain comfortable. They should have won that game, but they gave away a stupid penalty. What a ridiculous challenge!
Oh,
Greece get the goal. Greece get the penalty. Finished. They get the deserved point. I don't think, obviously Spain should win that game, but Greece didn't deserve to lose.
Yeah,
they put up a good fight.
Chris Welsh is saying England are the favourites to win the Euros. England fans need to stop hacking betting websites. England should be nowhere there.
Absolutely.
What an honest English fan.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't
Chris needs to be knighted.
You don't get many of them. Other results tonight were Bulgaria 1, Switzerland 3. In our group was
good result.
Israel 0, Denmark 2, Albania Albania 1-0 against Andorra, England 5, San Marino. Yeah, Germany 3, Iceland 0. A very good win for Germany.
Yeah. Fantastic result for the Germans. And to say it in the nicest way possible, Germany are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Germans are back. Great result tonight. Kimmich stand out in midfield beside Leon Goretzka. Like it works at Bayern Munich. It's going to work for Germany. Goretzka's 25. Kimmich is 25. So that's the midfield for the next decade. Kimmich is the next Germany captain. As soon as Neuer walks away, Kimmich is getting that armband. He's going to get the Germany armband as well. Not Germany armband, the Bayern armband. Solid. Probably the best defensive midfielder in the world, to be honest. Like there's no one better. Probably the best versatile player as well in the world. Goretzka, great finish there. The flick from Gnabry. I thought a standout performer tonight was Leroy Sané on the left wing. That man tore them apart. The assist there for the Havertz goal. Havertz is playing really well as a false nine. He's settled in really well. I know it's his final tournament as a manager. Joachim Low, I'm going with it. Germany are going to win the Euros. I'm going with it. I know people are going to say people are saying Portugal or France because they're all in the same group. All three teams can get out with the third best placed team. I actually think Germany are going to win the group.
Oh,
lol.
Aiden Flint.
This is going to be fun. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you can't. Why would you say the Germans when you've got the world champions and you've got the European champions in the same group? Germany shouldn't get out." The Germans could finish third in that group and still win. And like the Germans have never failed to qualify for the World Cup. They've been at every single World Cup tournament. In terms of the European record, they've won, I think, 3 European championships. They haven't won a European championship since '96. They won it at Wembley, by the way.
yeah.
Could they win it at 2021? Joachim Low, he's finally stepping down after 2006 when he replaced Klinsmann after the disaster on home turf. That really pissed me off, that World Cup. He's finally stepping down. I don't know who's going to replace them. My odds on, I think they should give it to Ralf Rangnick. He works fantastic with young players. He knows these young players. His style of play suits
at the moment.
Yeah, his style of play suits this team to a T. I would give it to him. The French, the Portuguese, great teams. I just don't know if you're going to stop a very hungry Germany who have got a point to prove. The way they played at the last World Cup, I tipped Germany to retain the World Cup title. Didn't even get out of the group. I was embarrassed. But they've moved on. They've moved on. That team is so aggressive in the press. Like if you manage to watch the highlights back, that German press was ruthless tonight. Goretzka could have probably killed someone with the way he was attacking them. Like he was that good. The right hand side, Gnabry, solid as well. Like if you really want to put your money on a team who can go into the World Cup or even the Euros, like for this summer, Germany. And I want to make a point proven. I had to mute the pundits on the Germany game. How dare you compare Rudiger to Lothar Matthäus?
That's disgraceful. Oh my.
How fucking dare you? He is top 5 Germany's. One of the bloody pundits. I don't even know his name. Like that's the worst part. I don't know his name, but he must have. He clearly doesn't know football.
Irrelevant, isn't he?
I know that Alan Parry was the first commentator, but I couldn't tell you who the one on the.
I think it was the other one. I don't know, but the fact that he said the fact that the way he can hit a shot with such power, and the way he brings the ball out from the back, and Rudiger, he plays equally to or just as good as Lothar Matthäus. That guy clearly doesn't know football because Matthäus is top 5 Germany's greatest players. He's a Germany World Cup captain, played for Bayern, league title winner, played in the Champions League final in '99 when he should have retired. Like the man was that old, but he can still put in a shift. He was ruthless. Like he gets in any team in his prime, and you compare Rudiger to him.
Yeah,
you deserve to be sacked, mate.
Other results. I did say that this would be the game to watch in England's group, and my goodness me, what a game this was! Hungary. You were 3, right. Poland 3.
I did say Hungary would be ruthless. And you look at the players they've got. They've got two players that stand out for me. Peter Galacci and Dominic Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai is going to be the best attacking midfielder in the next decade.
Yeah.
That's how confident I am in this lad. Like, he's that good. But no, 3-3 against the Polish, who are just the exact same. One great striker and a world-class goalkeeper, but it's just two hard-working teams. Great result.
Very concerning, that defence as well for Poland, especially what happened in 2018 as well.
Can you please get that image out of my head? Why would anybody... Yeah, you're right, but I would never compare Eric Dyer to Sir Bobby Moore, for sure.
I completely agree with
I agree
with it.
Yeah.
I agree with the lads. Get Motson back as a commentator. 5 World Cups he played. 19. If I do my maths right, he played 98 World Cup, 94, 90, 86, 82.
Yeah.
In reverse order, because I had to get the last one. But his last World Cup was 98. Yeah.
Yeah. Other results: Liechtenstein 0, Armenia 1, Moldova 1, Faroe Islands 1.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, that
is good for us.
Reinforces what I'm saying. Moldova really concerning. They are really underperforming. They've been underperforming for years, and to get something out, well, for the Faroe Islands to get something out of that, fair play to them. But yeah, I got a feeling Moldova are going to finish bottom of that group with just that 1 point. I think I can see Faroe Islands beating them again.
I know we had a Romanian fan in earlier. Romania 3, North Macedonia 2. That sounded like a pretty good
That's a
game.
good result from Romania. North Macedonia have got their golden generation coming through. But Romania starting to get up there.
And Sweden beat Georgia by 1-0. Just very, very quickly before we go, I want to touch on the Dutch, because yesterday they lost 4-2 to Turkey. Nathan... I did say, I think I've said on this podcast, and I think Reece I think both of you can agree with me, you cannot trust Frank de Boer as a manager.
No chance. I mean, anyone who trusted him after that disaster at Crystal Palace, I'm sorry, but you need to get your brain sorted, because that was one of the worst managerial spells I've ever seen in the Premier League. And what on earth were they thinking about replacing Ronald Koeman, who you could say is an actual safe bet as a manager for the Netherlands, and replacing him with an unproven manager like that with a bad record. Reckless appointment. It's the most reckless they've done, and especially with the way that they've been since 2014, not qualifying for tournaments, got some good players coming through and still not doing anything with it, even though there's some positions that they need depth in, but they need to sort it out there. And I thought last night was really poor. The fact they went 3-0 down was an absolute disgrace, I thought, even though Turkey, they've got some really good players coming through. Kaglar Soyuncu, Cengiz Ünder, Cenk Tosun as well in some way. You've got some good, a decent core there. So what happened? What happened, Netherlands?
I agree. Obviously, I'm going to ask this, though. Holland, they did miss out on the last World Cup.
Yeah.
Could they miss out on this one?
No. I think they'll still get it. De Boer won't be in charge by the end of the qualifiers. He'll be sacked midway through.
Yeah. I have to say, though, I was very impressed with Turkey. Burak Yilmaz at the age of 35 getting a hat-trick and a free kick as well. Fantastic free kick to win the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Kieran John Mason has got another surprise. Slovenia beating Croatia.
Yeah, that for me was... I know some people think that was a shock. I'm going to throw this out there. I don't think it was a shock at all.
I agree.
And the reason I don't is because Croatia's best players are well into their 30s. You can't expect them to keep up with a Slovenia side that are ruthless as well. Like, at least they've managed to refresh a bit of their team. It's not completely refreshed, but at least they're in the right stages.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Republic of Ireland, but on a more worse scale. Because in the 2018 World Cup, we had the likes of Mandzukic, Modric, all of those players, Rakitic as well. They were all aging at that point. Yeah. Kramaric, they were all starting to get retired, and they don't have that a push of not exactly a golden generation, because you could say that could be rare for national teams, but they don't even have those, you could say, First Division Champions League players coming through either, which I think is really going to cost them. And within the next decade, then with the way that it's looking in with some of their youngsters, they're not going to have these world-class players coming through. And I think they're going to miss out on some international tournaments, personally.
James Dunlop.
Go on.
Wouldn't surprise me if they don't qualify for the World Cup.
My problem with the Dutch,
my
problem with them, and it relates to Turkey and it relates to Croatia as well, is the squads are actually relatively decent. It's just who you've got running the teams. I think if Juan Laporta is now back in charge of Barcelona, he was a big advocate for the Dutch style of play. That's why Cruyff is, to him, God. And he's admitted that a few times. He is literally like an impediment of what Barcelona represents. He goes to Cruyff, so he goes to Dutch football. I actually think Ronald Koeman's going to be given an extension. I think Ronald Koeman's now going to be kept on as the Barcelona manager now. I'm calling it now. So there's Holland's chance at 2022 gone unless they do something crazy. They go and beg for Dick Advocaat, or they tempt Van Gaal out of retirement, which frankly the Dutch can do that. The Dutch can do that really easily. I don't think they can do it under De Boer. I gave up on De Boer after he left Ajax for Inter Milan. Like, that was a bad decision. Yeah. He's went downhill, and the fact that he failed in America. If you fail in America as well, then that's you.
I think all three of us could manage in America personally, and that's just disgraceful. Just imagine offering a contract to Frank de Boer. I don't get it.
I think if Holland lose these 3 games in a row, De Boer's sacked. Absolutely. I think if they lose these 3, they'll do it because it's the only way they'll get back in. Will they lose all 3 games? Probably not. It's the Dutch. They do have a good team. They've got some good players in there. You would expect them to do well.
Yeah.
It's the Boer system. It's not suited. I don't even know where else they're going to go. Like, where else could they look to? Like, there's not many. I don't think they're going to get Ten Hag. He's comfortable in the Ajax team. There's no way he
deserves a better job as well. I think Ajax, with how good that club is and how historic it is, it's a good level for him. But I think he can go one step further. Maybe a Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man United, I think would be a good job for him as well. I really think he's an underrated manager, and I think him going to Netherlands would be career suicide for him.
What do you agree with that one? Will Van Dijk that Netherlands defensive batting average?
I'd say it's lower in Premier League.
I don't know, because they've got some decent centre backs. I mean, I think De Vrij still top centre back. I think he can still do a job. Daley Blind, he's a good ball playing centre back. He's doing the exact same thing his dad did in the 90s. So I don't know. I think it's just the problem is they're not being coached by a world class coach. They need, I think. But then again, world class players, it shouldn't really matter who's coaching you. You should be doing better regardless. Yeah. We'll see what happens with the Dutch. I still think the Dutch are going to go through, but I think Turkey are going to win the group. I think, in fact, no, I don't. I think Norway are going to win the group. I think Turkey might finish 3rd, but I think the only reason I say that is because I think the Netherlands will get rid of De Boer and they'll bring in someone and they'll get through. I think that's the only way. But I wouldn't count the Dutch out yet after one game, but it was a horrific performance. They need to sharpen up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Netherlands, I got now, should be beating Turkey. No excuses. Well, shouldn't be losing. Teti, Blind, Vindal, and Delict was the defence, and they looked very shaky. I'm surprised De Vrij and Delict are not the first choice centre back pairing. I thought that would have been assuring.
I think they should play a 3-4-3. I think it's worked recently for them in the past decade. They played that system and it got them to a World Cup semi-final. Yes, they played a 4-3-3 and nearly killed Xabi Alonso in 2010. But I think their best. I think the Dutch at their absolute best is either a 4-3-3 with good ball playing players, or you play a 3-4-3 and you play your best 3 centre backs and you just push. Like the Dutch with their total football, they play a 3-4-3 and then they can just transition into a 4-3-3. They can do that easily. Like the Dutch are known for it. Like they're probably the best transitional team to play football. Like they're the best transitionals. Like, and I'll take that to my grave. It's just De Boer can't. De Boer is just not a good enough coach for this. Like he's not good enough. So what do the Dutch do? Beats me.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Guys, we have gone 1 hour and 19 minutes. I think I'm gonna call it. We're just gonna wrap
Absolutely.
it up there. But
Could I possibly sneak one thing if that's all right, Doug?
yeah, sure, yeah.
The question for you both. Who will be Wales manager at the Euros? That's my question.
Whoever you've got now is the interim.
Rob Page.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the case, because the only one that I think I'd be remotely happy with, and that's saying something because even then I'd still be annoyed, would be Nathan Jones.
Thank you, Chris. Hope you're all right. Take care, and yeah, definitely. Neil, Kieran John Meisler said Neil Harris.
To be fair, I wouldn't mind, because I thought he did a decent job at Cardiff. It's just it didn't go the right way that he wanted in the end. But yeah, it's going to be touch and go whether Giggs is going to be there. And personally, if he's not back by mid-April, he needs to step aside.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't let that keep going over his head.
What he did as well, you can't condone. You shouldn't be in a position like that for what he did. Can't condone it. So no.
Right.
Replace him.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very, very much to everyone who's obviously tuned in, and thank you to my co-host, regulars on the podcast, Reece and Nathan, for coming on. Thank you to Bitz and Bobz.
All right.
I may as well just join you for every match reaction for Scotland, mate. I may as well just do it, because Bitz and Bobz will be here when he can. You know what Bobby's like. He's such a busy dude. But
yes.
You ever need a match reaction, boom, when we're playing, I'll happily do it. I'll happily sacrifice my time. You know that.
I might. Do you know what? I might actually do one for the Israel game, because that's Sunday. I think that's Sunday.
Well.
When do Wales play Czech Republic? Is that Saturday?
It's next Tuesday at 7:45. We're playing Mexico in a friendly at 8 o'clock on Saturday, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. I'm probably not even going to stream to protest that.
Wow!
Why? That makes no sense.
Exactly. I think it's for money, because we played Mexico at Rose Bowl in Los Angeles a year or two ago, and they've always said they wanted to come over to Cardiff City Stadium to play us. But
great! So you're just pimping each other out.
Yeah, exactly. In this time when we really need that good rest, considering the injuries we've got and how tired Kiefer Moore has been looking recently, even though he didn't play while he came off the bench, and some players need that rest, I think it's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand. I don't understand that myself. I'm gonna have to have a think over that one. I don't understand that myself. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Absolutely, but yeah, thank you to everyone who's obviously tuned in. I saw we had an Albanian fan and we had a Romanian fan in earlier. You know what? If you ever want to, come and watch this, then I'm happy to do that. Hey, new to the channel, enjoying the stream so far, says Justin Herenus. Thank you very much, Justin Herenus, and it's nice to.
I was going to say, based on it's the same as our Monday podcast, World of Football. Every football fan's welcome. We have good debates. We've got good banter on this show. It's a good channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We just don't tolerate abuse, racism, all that shit. Yeah. We just want to have a laugh. It's football, mate. That's what it is. Now because we're talking about Scotland, we can finally say how we say football up here. Football. There we go. Done.
Oh, I've been baited.
We can finally say what we wanted.
Yeah, I've just been baited.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say you've been baited, because he did put the comment in first, so
exactly.
I'd still take it as a compliment.
And on that note, we will bid you farewell and good night, and hopefully the Scots will beat Israel on Sunday, and hopefully Wales beat Mexico in a friendly on Saturday.
Saturday night, yeah.
We will see you all on Sunday and back again Monday for. No, we're not. No, wait, hold on.
It's the week after.
No, we're not. We're off next week.
Week after having the break. Week after, yeah.
Yeah, tune in for the April 12th show when I officially turn 24.
Don't worry, I turned 19 exactly in 1 week, so.
It could be worse.
I don't worry, I'm a year away, so.
Thank you, guys.